What's going on, everybody? Review Man here, and I have a lot to cover. So without further ado, let me get started. This episode of South Park is the newest episode of South Park. It just premiered. It might be on, it's going to be on for a while because they're covering the pandemic COVID special. They're calling it the pandemic special. And this episode focuses mainly on Randy and the boys at school. So anyway, there's two lanes to this story. I'm gonna give you the Randy story first. Randy, he's trying to make this whole pandemic special, and he's just trying to sell his integrity weed, and he's calling his weed the pandemic special. It's kind of like playing on what they did in the last season, where they did like the season finale and the Halloween special and all that kind of thing. And each thing was like labeled as weed. But you find out that Randy was the cause of the COVID because he went to go whenever him and Mickey Mouse went to go and were in China in the last season. Randy made out with this animal called the pangolin, and then you find out that Randy the CDC capture get a pangolin, a weird looking animal, and they get the pangolin, and the pangolin Randy kidnaps it, and the CDC they had this little news report that says we don't need the pangolin, we need the thing that impregnated and contaminated the pangolin, and it's actually Randy's jizz or semen, or yeah, only true South Park fashion. So what he starts doing is he finds out that Jimbo, his brother-in-law, is in the hospital with coronavirus, with the COVID. He's on this ventilator, and and then the next day he wakes up. Jimbo, he's getting out of the hospital. Sharon has to go get him out. And then after that, the day after that, he's like, Randy, Jimbo's sick. And by this time, Randy, he's like been jerking off a whole lot, and he's just been putting that into the pandemic special, causing everybody that smokes the weed to pretty much grow mustaches that look like Randy. And everybody's saying it's not COVID, it's COVID symptoms that's causing the whole that's causing the pandemic. And everybody's like, have you injected anything into your body lately? Any drugs or alcohol? And he's like, no, I've just been smoking some pandemic special. And then I was like, oh, that's normal. And then pretty much everybody in town is smoking the pandemic special, causing everybody to get mustaches and kind of looks like Randy. And Mickey Mouse, he's not having any of this. He's sending threats to Randy, saying you're dead and I'm going to kill you because you started the whole COVID thing. And Randy, what he does is he said, I got one way to stop this. I got to bring back the pangolin turn the pangolin into the CDC. But before I go any further with this story, I'm going to switch over to what the boys are doing this whole time. The boys don't want to go back to school. Actually, Cartman doesn't want to go back to school. And Cartman doesn't want to go back to school. And he's like, I don't want to go back to school. I enjoyed the Zoom class. I don't want to go back to school. And their part of the story deals with what the kids and the teachers are dealing with during this whole COVID thing, doing Zoom calls, and some kids are going back to school, and Cartman just doesn't want to have any part of it. So what he does is everybody's going back to school, and the teachers, they don't want to be going back to school because they feel it's unsafe. So what they do is they bring in the cops of the town, because and this also deals with the whole defunding the police and all the gang riots and all the kid shootings and all this other stuff. And whenever Cartman gets brought back into the classroom, he starts him and Kyle had this little fight. Tolkien ends up getting shot, and that also deals with the whole George Floyd thing and shit like that and stuff like that. And then they said, and then Mr. Mackey he holds this little thing that said, attention to parents, attention. One of the kids have been sent to the hospital due to COVID, so all the teachers and the students have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. And then whenever they're inside the school, they're all like, this is bull crap. Tolkien didn't have coronavirus. Tolkien didn't have COVID. He was shot by you. And the cops was like, yes, but it was COVID related. And that's also kind of dealing with the whole, everybody's blaming stuff on COVID and stuff like that. So, yeah. It's pretty much looking like a prison scene during this whole thing. The kids they gotta stay social distance. They can only be in so many places at one time, and they gotta pretty much stay in line. And they claim the cops are teachers, but they're actually like being like actual cops, like a jail sentence. And Butters is just going that crap crazy. And he's like, I want to get to Build-A-Bear. And Butters, he just wants to go to Build-A-Bear during this entire thing. And everybody's like, no, you can't go to Build-A-Bear. And then Butters, he gets taken away somewhere. And then Stan comes up with this plan about, we got to get Butters out of here. We got to get back to the new normal. We got to get back to normal. And they're all like, okay, how are we going to do that? And then the next scene is they're all in this, they're all like laying down on this, they're all like laying down, going to bed in the gym. And they're all like social distance because you see each of them are laying down. It's like this little circle about 6 feet apart. And Stan's like, okay, everybody, we gotta get Butters out of here. We gotta sneak past the cops. We gotta give him to Build-A-Bear, and we gotta get we gotta get outside. We just gotta get outside. And so they're all like, okay, how are we gonna do that? And then they all break out. Everybody's like sneaking past the cops. The cops aren't really doing anything about it. And they're all sneaking past the cops. And then they're all like, okay. And they're all like running down the road. And then whenever they find out that the kids are escaping, the chief of police, or the head teacher, he calls the mayor. And the mayor's like, okay, you teachers will have everything you need to pretty much get the kids back in order. And then they come walking on the road. The police are out like actually being funded again. And they come rolling down the road in tanks and missiles and all this other stuff. And then on the news they're like, the kids have escaped. The kids with COVID had escaped. And everybody's like going crazy and all this other stuff. And they say it's pandemic-related symptoms. It's COVID-related symptoms. Ah, ah. Everybody's like running all over. Ah. And half the town that are smoking the weed, that have smoked the pandemic special, got mustaches, and they're saying that the pandemic special has coincided with the COVID-related symptoms. And Randy's like, okay, I know what to do. And he starts loading up all the pandemic special, which by now, all the pandemic special has his jizz loaded in it. That's why half the town has Randy shaved mustaches. It's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny scene. It's kind of stupid but funny at the same time. And everybody's like running around with Randy mustaches. But before the kids broke out of school, Stan calls Mr. Garrison, or President Garrison, and his role in this whole thing is him being the president of the U.S. And if you've seen the last season or last few seasons, you see he's got this whole Trump thing going on, and Garrison was like, you know what, I really wanted to beat all the Mexicans. And Stan was like, the Mexicans? And he's like, yeah, I wanted to beat the Mexicans. And he's like, sir, you do know there's a pandemic going on? Yeah, and most of the Mexicans have died. I mean, this isn't me. This is the ship. And he's like, most of the Mexicans have died because of the pandemic. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, if you don't like it, you can suck my balls. And then Stan just hangs up. It just hangs up on him. Fast forward. Stan is trying to get Butters to build a bear, and all the rest of them are trying to get Butters to build a bear while they're on the run from the cops. So they're on the run from the cops and going to build a bear. And he's like, sir, can you open up? We had a build a bear, and we had an appointment. And the guy's like, no, I can't open up because somebody came in with a mustache. It's kind of like COVID mustache. Anyway, so what they do is they break into build a bear, start building the bear, and it's not going right because Stan, he's not doing stuff right, and he's like, okay, well, we'll go. What kind of animal you want, Butters? Butters shows him the animal, and he's like, okay. He starts putting the stuff in the Build-A-Bear. I mean, I've never been to a Build-A-Bear. I know they're expensive, but I've never been into one. So he starts putting the stuff in the Build-A-Bear. It's not going right. A few minutes later, the cops are at Build-A-Bear, and they have it pointed toward Kyle. And Randy's like, hold on, wait. I know what you want. I know exactly what you want. You want this. He pulls out the pangolin. And he's like, okay, here. He's like, okay, here. This is what you want. This has the answer to the cure. Cartman, he comes up. He grabs the pangolin. He's about to throw it into the do-over machine, destroying the coronavirus, so possibly cure. And yeah, throws it on the coronavirus, possibly cure. And it stands like, no, stop. I just did this because I want my life back to normal before all this stuff happens. And I just want to be able to go outside and play and have fun, just be a kid. And then Cartman, he's still about to throw the pangolin into the do-over machine. And Cartman just walks over to the scientist, hands the pangolin to the scientist, and then all of a sudden Garrison just comes up out of nowhere with a flamethrower, burns the scientist and the pangolin. And then he just said, okay, everybody, there's an election coming up. Don't forget to vote. And then everybody just disappears, going out and just starts dispersing. Last thing we see in the episode is Randy and the Integrity Farm being closed due to fires. Also, this is South Park's take on the fires going on in California. And everything's like just burning down and closing. And Randy walks up to the bedroom, and he was fixing to apologize to Sharon. Sharon rolls over, sits up. She's got a mustache on her face. And Randy's like, you ain't got a little bit of shit on your face? Or, talking about Randy's mustache. Talking about the mustache. And Randy, I don't smoke weed. Uh-huh. And that's pretty much where the episode ends, is that. So I don't know if they're going to do like an hour-long episode each episode, but it'd be kind of cool because they cover a lot of ground in that 1 hour. Go check it out. I think it's on Hulu. It might be on Netflix. No, not Netflix, but Comedy Central. But go check it out. It was a pretty cool episode, and it covers pandemic. It covers how the school was handling it. It covers stuff closing. It covers just people regularly freaking out. Covers pretty much everything that's been going on in 2020. So, everybody, I'm the Review Man. You are you. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Don't forget, social distance, 6 feet apart. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. All that fun stuff. I'm the Review Man. You are you. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.